Okay. So in the last session, we started with the internal energy. Before starting the first law of thermodynamics, talking about internal energy was quite important. So we started with the internal energy of the system. Then we went on for the first law of thermodynamics. We discussed the Joule's experiment and the mathematical statement of first law of thermodynamics. Then we saw some examples of the first law of thermodynamics. Then we applied the first law of thermodynamics for a closed cycle. Closed cycle in the sense, suppose system starts changing its state from a certain condition. It undergoes for some finite number of change of states, and when it returns back to its original state, then we can say that it has completed a cycle. That is when its initial and final state is identical, then we can say that is a cycle. So for such a cycle, we got the relation that summation of work transfer is equal to summation of heat transfer. So we got the relation for a cyclic process, summation of work transfer is equal to summation of heat transfer. As we are saying that system starts changing its state from a certain condition, it undergoes some finite number of state changes and return back to its original state, then it is expected that the internal energy of the system is same. Whatever internal energy system has possessed when it started undergoing state change, that is its initial condition, that has to be attained when it returns back to its original state. So in that case, as its initial and final internal energy is same, this delta E is going to be 0. And when we apply or put this value in the first law statement, that is Q is equal to delta U plus W. In that case, this delta U is going to be 0 and we'll get the relation Q is equal to W. So that has been written over here, that is cyclic integral of dW is equal to cyclic integral of dQ. So this one is for a closed cycle. Then we talked about application of first law to some closed system processes. We started with constant volume, then constant pressure, isothermal process, adiabatic process, polytropic process. Then we summarized all the equations for all those processes. Then we talked about energy is a property of a system. We proved that energy is a property of a system. How we proved that one? We proved that energy is independent of the path followed. Suppose in this graph, system starts changing its state from state 1 to state 2 through path L, and it returns to its original state once following path M, and in second condition following path N. And we proved that whether system is returning by following path M or following path N, its energy is going to remain same. And when energy is independent of the path, we can say that energy is a point function. And if it is point function, it is independent of the path, we can say that for particular instant, system has got certain energy and that is going to remain constant. And as it is constant for a state, we can say that it is property of a system. So that one we have proved that energy is a property of system. Then we talked about various forms of energy. Then enthalpy. I think we have discussed this one also. Enthalpy is nothing but the total energy content of the system, right? So it is addition of internal energy plus product of pressure into volume. Now we need not to discuss this one in much details, because while discussing the first law of thermodynamics for a process at constant pressure, yes, over here, we have discussed all the things that we are supposed to talk about in case of enthalpy. So whenever heat is added at constant pressure, as pressure is constant, there is going to be change in volume. Pressure is constant for process 1 to 2, pressure on y-axis, volume on x-axis. We can see that for state 1 and state 2, we have got the same value of pressure, whereas for state 1, volume is V1 and for state 2, volume is V2. So for this process, the general first law equation is going to be Q is equal to delta U plus W. As system is changing its state from state 1 to state 2, I have written U2 minus U1. That is final internal energy minus initial internal energy. We have replaced this W with W is equal to 1 to 2. That is again state 1 to 2 P into dV, and dV is nothing but V2 minus V1. So P into V2 minus V1, then we put this value in this equation. So Q is equal to U2 minus U1 plus P into V2 minus V1. We multiplied that P into the bracket, we got U2 minus U1 plus PV2 minus PV1. Here we separated the similar terms including 2 and terms including 1. So U2 plus PV2 in one bracket minus, we took that minus common. So in bracket we got U1 minus, we have taken common, so minus minus plus U1 plus PV1. And we know that H is equal to U plus PV. It is addition of internal energy plus product of pressure into volume. So this will become H2 and this will become H1. So H2 minus H1, that is nothing but heat supplied. And we know that as this is a constant pressure process, so it will be a product of specific heat at constant pressure Cp. Cp indicates the specific heat of that material at constant pressure. So heat supplied will be product of Cp into change in temperature T2 minus T1, and that will be equivalent to H2 minus H1. So this one we have proved, and we are supposed to talk about similar thing while discussing enthalpy also. Same things we have written over here again, so I'm not going to explain it again. H2 minus H1 is equal to Cp into T2 minus T1. That is going to be the final relation. Now next thing we are going to talk about is PMM1. Now PMM1 stands for, that is actually a short form, and that stands for perpetual motion machine of first kind, PMM1. So what exactly is the PMM1? There is another similar concept that is called as PMM2 that we are going to talk about in the next unit. Here we are going to talk about PMM1 because PMM1 is a device that violates the first law of thermodynamics.
Hello sir.
Yes.
एंथैल्पी नहीं कळालं सर.
एंथैल्पी नाही कळालं.
नाही.
ओके. हे इक्वेशन कळालं इथलं कॉन्स्टंट प्रेशरचं.
यस सर. सर ती स्क्रीन कव्हर होते सर, ते ब्लॅक
स्क्रीन कव्हर होते.
हा, थोडीशी ते डायग्राम झाकली गेली सर राईट साइडला वरती.
याच्यामुळे का आपले जे हे दिसतात व्हिडिओ दिसतात त्याच्यामुळे?
नाही, ब्लॅक दिसतंय सर मला.
ब्लॅक दिसते. ओके. ही स्लाइड दिसते व्यवस्थित? अनिकेत.
हो सर दिसते.
ओके, इथे एक्सप्लेन
आता
करतो मी परत.
लेफ्ट साइडला चाललं गेलं सर.
अजून पण नाही दिसत व्यवस्थित.
ते हे दिसतंय सर, पण ते ब्लॅक लेफ्ट साइडला चाललं गेलंय. आता राईट साइडला आलं. तुम्हाला स्क्रीनशॉट पाठवू का सर?
एक मिनिट. तो आपला ह्याच हे जो आहे म्हणजे आपल्या सर्वांचे व्हिडिओ दिसणारा जो एक छोटासा विंडो असतो, तो तुला ब्लॅक दिसत असेल. आता मी तो लेफ्टला केलाय, बरोबर ना?
येस सर.
त्या टेक्स्ट वरती येतोय का तो नाही येत ना?
नाही येत.
ओके, एक मिनिट. हे मग परत एक्सप्लेन करतो मी. आता दिसते ना हे स्क्रीन व्यवस्थित तुला पाहिजे ते? का मी
हो
हाईड
सर, पण वर
आता
हाईड करून टाका सर.
हाईड केलं मी ते. आता नाही ना काही अडचण आहे?
नाही सर, दिसतंय.
ओके. हां, तर एन्थाल्पी म्हणजे काय आहे? एन्थाल्पी इज बेसिकली टोटल एनर्जी कंटेंट ऑफ द सिस्टीम. Total energy content of the system. So relation is H is equal to U plus PV. U stands for internal energy of the system, and PV is the product of pressure into volume. So that will get the work done, right? So this H is equal to U plus PV. This relation is known to us. So when there would be change in enthalpy, when we heat added at constant pressure or when we heat added at constant volume, that we need to discuss. So we already have proved that whenever we add heat at constant pressure, for this sketch, initially this piston is at this position, right? There is certain gas in the container, and when we supply heat by using burner, this gas will expand. As this gas expands, the pressure will start increasing, right? Now as pressure start increasing, it will start pushing this piston vertically upward, and as it is free to move, it will move vertically upward till equilibrium condition attained. Equilibrium condition means it will try to maintain a constant pressure. Means before heating, whatever pressure is there inside this container, on applying heat, the pressure will start increase, and to have that initial pressure, it will push this piston vertically upward. So there will be change in volume, right? Is that clear? इथपर्यंत काय अडचण?
No sir.
Okay. So for this one, we wrote the first law of thermodynamics, that is Q is equal to, this one is delta U plus W. This one is a mathematical statement of first law. Now that delta U we have modified like U2 minus U1, final internal energy minus initial internal energy, because system is changing its state from state 1 to state 2. So 1 is initial, 2 is final state. So U2 minus U1, and this W we have replaced by using P into V2 minus V1. How we got this P into V2 minus V1? We know that for this process, when we plot this one on PV diagram, the area under this process is nothing but the work done. And to get that area, we have this relation integration of 1 to 2 P into dV. And when we solve this one, we'll get the relation P into V2 minus V1. Now we have put this value in the equation number 1, that is Q is equal to U2 minus U1 plus W. Now on putting this one in this equation, we take product of P into this bracket, we got PV2 minus PV1, and on solving we got Q is equal to U2 minus U1, that is as it is, and this P into V2 plus minus P into V1. Now here what we did, we rearranged similar terms, that is somewhere there is 2 and there is 1 also. So we have separated 2 terms and 1 terms. So U2 plus PV2 in one bracket, minus, we have taken minus common. So in bracket what we get, U2, as minus is common, so minus minus plus P into V1. and we know this relation H is equal to U plus PV, and we have got U plus PV here, U2 plus PV2 and U1 minus, U1 plus PV1. So we can say that this is H1 and this is H2. So we got, this is Q, Q is equal to H2 minus H1. So ultimately what we can say that here Q is nothing but heat supplied at constant pressure. The general equation of Q is equal to mass, specific heat and delta T. This is general equation, right? So when we add heat at constant pressure, this C becomes Cp. When we add heat at constant volume, this C becomes Cv. Now this is constant pressure process. So as we are writing this one for unit mass, so this mass will be gone, and we got the relation Q is equal to Cp into delta T. So Cp into delta T, and again delta T is nothing but T2 minus T1, or final temperature minus initial temperature. So H2 minus H1 is nothing but product of specific heat at constant pressure and change in temperature. So when we take the product of this one, we'll get the change in enthalpy. Or ultimately we can say that when you add heat at constant pressure, the ultimate result that we are going to get is the change in enthalpy. Okay, Aniket, if you have still any doubt, let me know.
No, sir.
Okay. So next thing that we are going to talk about is the PMM1. As I said, the device that violates the first law of thermodynamics is called as perpetual motion machine of first kind. There we are going to talk about PMM2 also. And from name itself, we can get that the device that violates second law of thermodynamics will become PMM2. So here we are going to talk about PMM1, perpetual motion machine of first kind. Now, before proceeding further, can any one of you tell me the statement of first law of thermodynamics? Aniket, can you tell me the statement of first law of thermodynamics? Yes, please.
Energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. It can transfer.
Instead of transfer, you can use a better word. It can be converted.
It can be converted to
Yes,
one state to another form, one form to another form.
one form to another form, right? So we know that according to first law of thermodynamics, we cannot create energy, we cannot destroy energy. The possibility is we can convert it from one form to another, like mechanical energy into electrical, electrical to mechanical, chemical to thermal energy, thermal to mechanical energy. Likewise, right? We can convert one form of energy into the another one. That is the only choice. We cannot create, we cannot destroy it. So if this statement has to be violated, what that device is supposed to do, that has been shown over here using these two sketches. So there is one engine that gives a continuous work output of W. Here we have shown Q also, but that has been indicated by dotted line. So it means that Q is equal to 0, that we are not supplying any heat to the engine and we are getting continuous work output. We know that this is not possible, right? Even in IC engine, if you want to drive that vehicle, you need to provide a fuel. You need to burn fuel. Then only you can convert that generated heat into mechanical energy, right? So if heat supplied to system or engine is 0 and you are getting continuous work output, we are violating first law. Similarly, another example is there. There is a machine that is continuously consuming work W. This one is work producing device, this one is work consuming device. So it is continuously consuming work W and Q is equal to 0. So it is not producing any additional work. It is not converting that consumed work into heat also. So what it is doing, it is continuously just taking in the work, right? And we know that that is also impossible. If it is consuming work, then at least its energy has to be increased. It is supposed to do some alternative work, or there should be some heat output. And if anything of these is not there, this is going to be violation of first law, right? So here, as engine is continuously producing work without consumption of any alternative energy, we know that to have some work output, we need to provide energy in some form. कुठल्या ना कुठल्या फॉर्म मध्ये आपल्याला एनर्जी इनपुट हे द्यावंच लागतं, तरच आपण त्याच्यापासून वर्क आउटपुट मिळवू शकतो. And as this device is continuously producing work, but it is not taking any form of energy as an input, then ultimately we need to say that this is producing the energy. As it is producing work output, the required energy is going to be there, and as it is not taking that energy from some any other source, then we can say that it itself is producing energy or creating energy, and that energy is being converted into work output. And as this device is creating energy, this device is creating energy, we can say that it is violating first law of thermodynamics, right? And this device is called as perpetual motion machine of first kind. Actually, this is not possible. There isn't any device that is going to violate first law of thermodynamics. This is just a concept, and that concept is called as perpetual motion machine of first kind. If any one of you have any doubt, please let me know. I'll wait for a few seconds and we'll continue to the next slide. If you have any doubt, let me know. कोणाला काय डाऊट आहे? Okay, we'll move to the next slide. Now, next point that we are going to talk about is energy of an isolated system. Now, before talking about energy of an isolated system, let's talk about the types of system. Actually, this part we already have discussed while studying the unit number 1, that is basic concepts of the thermodynamics. So let's brush up that one. There are 3 types of system. One of those 3 is isolated system. Can any one of you tell me the remaining 2 types of system? Unmute yourself.
Closed system, open system.
Very good. Open system and closed system. Open system, can you tell me what happens in case of open system?
Energy and mass
Mass
transfer takes place.
exchange.
Very good. Mass and energy both can be exchanged between system and surrounding. Surrounding could be like any other system or something next to the boundary of the system. So there will be exchange of mass as well as energy, or matter as well as energy, between system and surrounding. Then system will be open system. In case of closed system, this matter interaction will become 0, but there will be interaction of energy, right? So heat could be added to the system, heat could be removed from the system, or even you can get the work output also, right? So such a system is called as closed system, and third one is isolated system. So what happens in case of isolated system?
Neither
Anybody?
mass nor energy transfer takes place.
Very good. There wouldn't be any matter as well as energy interaction. Both are going to be zero. So there will not be any exchange of energy as well as matter in between system and surrounding. So such a system will be called as isolated system. Now, as there isn't any energy transfer nor matter transfer, so the first law is Q is equal to delta U plus W. What will happen in this equation? This Q is going to be 0. This W is going to be 0. And what will be the ultimate result? Delta U is equal to 0. Because remaining two terms has become 0, the internal energy also will become 0. Internal energy is that is change in internal energy, not internal energy. This is delta U. So this change in internal energy will become 0, and if change in internal energy is 0, we can say that its energy remains constant. Delta E is 0. So E is going to be constant. So ultimately we can say that in case of isolated system, its internal energy or energy always remains constant. Okay. So in case of isolated system, its energy always remains constant. The best example of isolated system is universe. Now, how this universe is example of isolated system? Suppose here only, this is the system that is interacting with its atmosphere. This atmosphere will be including in some large part of the system. That system will be having certain atmosphere, and if you keep on adding the parts together, multiple systems together, ultimately we'll get the earth. Earth will be having some atmosphere. Around the earth there will be some additional planets, and if we add all those things together, you will get the universe. And if I say universe as an isolated system, then I can say that the energy of isolated system is always going to remain constant. Now, how it is going to remain constant? Means, suppose, just take an example, you are driving a bicycle. It has got a kinetic energy. When we apply a brake, that kinetic energy will be get converted into heat, sound, and some other forms of energy. And all those energies are going to be released into the atmosphere. Now, atmosphere is part of universe. So, cycle has lost the energy. The atmosphere has gained the energy, but those two are the part of universe. So when you talk about the universe, the energy is going to be remain in universe only. So ultimately energy of the universe is going to remain constant. Okay. So in case of isolated system, its energy always remains constant. Anybody has got any doubt? Please ask. आहे कोणाला काही डाऊट? Okay, next. Now we are going to solve some numericals based on first law of thermodynamics. The first numerical. Now before begin with the numerical, you are supposed to take out the notebook and calculator. I'll spare few minutes for that one. Actually, the first part of the meeting is going to end in 2 minutes. So we'll stop over here. Meanwhile, you get the notebook, pen and calculators ready and join the meeting again with the same link. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting. Join the meeting with the same link, and you are supposed to be ready with notebook, pen and calculator. Let's start. You are supposed to note down the statement. I'll read it aloud and you keep writing in your notebook. A stationary mass of gas is compressed. A stationary mass of gas is compressed without friction. A stationary mass of gas is compressed without friction from an initial state of 0.3 meter cube and 0.105 megapascal. 0.3 meter cube and 0.105 megapascal to a final state of 0.15 meter cube, 0.15 meter cube and 0.105 megapascal. 0.105 megapascal. Full stop. As we can see, the pressure is remaining constant during the process. As the pressure is remaining constant during the process, full stop, there is a transfer of 37.6 kilojoules of heat, 37.6 kilojoules of heat from the gas, 37.6 kilojoules of heat from the gas during the process. There is transfer of 37.6 kilojoules of heat from the gas during the process. Full stop. How much does the internal energy of gas changes? How much does the internal energy of the gas changes? That we need to find. Now read the statement carefully. Note down the given data and also note down what we have been asked to calculate. So let's read this statement again. A stationary mass of gas is compressed without friction. So friction is not there. From initial state is 0.3 meter cube, that is volume, and 0.105 megapascal, that is pressure. So this is going to be V1, this is going to be P1, because this is initial state. To a final state, this is volume V2 and this is pressure P2. But we know that this is 0.105 and this is also 0.105. So instead of writing P1 and P2, we can simply write P is equal to 0.105 megapascal, right? and we have been given volume V1 and V2. And what additionally they have given, there is a transfer of 37.6 kilojoules of heat. Now let's recall some concepts. In case of a heat and work, we have written some sign convention. If Q is entering the system, what should be sign convention? W entering the system, what should be sign convention? Q leaving the system, what should be sign convention? And W leaving the system, what should be sign convention? Mahesh Shinde,
Yes, sir.
सांगा साइन कन्व्हेन्शन काय असतं? Q input to the system, W input to the system. Positive, negative? One by one. Q input to the system,
Positive.
positive. Very good. W input to the system, Mahesh?
Negative.
निगेटिव्ह येईल, घाबरत घाबरत सांगतोय. बरोबर आहे. Q input to the system positive, W input to the system negative, right? Because this is work consumed by the system, so that is going to be negative. Now in case of those energies leaving the system, Q leaving the system is going to be याच्या उलट, बरोबर? Now this is going to be negative. And हे पण याच्या उलट, this is going to be positive.
Positive.
So heat supplied to the system is positive, heat lost by the system is negative, work consumed by the system is negative, and work produced by the system is positive. Now can you tell me, should I take this 37.6 kilojoules positive or negative? The numerical is quite simple, but if you mistake in taking sign convention, the answer will be wrong.
Positive, sir.
37.6 has to be positive. Aniket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else want to say something else? Or should we go with the Aniket's opinion? Pratik?
Yes, sir.
Whatever Aniket has said, is it right, or we need to take 37.6 negative?
Positive.
पॉझिटिव्ह असलं पाहिजे. ओके, दोघांचे उत्तर चुकीचं आहे, पण लेट्स रीड द स्टेटमेंट केअरफुली. देअर इज ट्रान्सफर ऑफ 37.6 kilojoules of heat from the gas, right? If this has been to the gas, then we would have taken positive. To the gas means input to the system. From the gas means output of the system, or it is going to be lost by the system. So this 37.6 has to be negative. Okay, and we have been asked to calculate change in internal energy. Now to calculate that one, we have first law of thermodynamics. Q is equal to delta U plus W. Now in this equation, put all the given values and calculate the delta U. We have been asked to find this delta U. Q is given minus 37.6, and W has been given, but that has been given in some raw data that we need to calculate W. How to calculate that W? W is equal to P into V2 minus V1. Now P is given 0.105 megapascal, V2 is given 0.15 and V1 is given 0.3. So put those values over here, find the value of W. Once you have got the value of W, put this W in this equation. Q is already given, put that also in this equation and find the value of delta U, right? You can get that easily, but there is certain unit change that has to be done before calculation of this W. This pressure is in megapascal, right? And if I want to have this work done in terms of kilojoules, then this megapascal has to be converted into kilopascal, right? So P is equal to, the given value is 0.105 megapascal. So how to convert that one into kilopascal? Pratik सांगता येईल?
Sir, into 10 raised to 6.
That will become Pascal, Pratik.
10 raised to 3.
Very good. So I need to multiply it by 10 raised to 3 or simply multiply by 1000. So that will become kilopascal. Now put this 0.105 into 10 raised to 3 into V2 minus V1. Calculate W, put that W in this equation. Put Q is equal to minus 37.6 in the same equation and find the delta U. Calculate करा आणि मला सांगा किती येतं आन्सर. That has to be in kilojoules. I'll spare 5 minutes for that one. Calculate the answer and post it in a chat window. And while posting that answer, post that answer privately to me, not for the everyone. That answer should be sent to me only. Start solving. Everyone is supposed to post the answer. प्रतीक मल्टिप्लाइंग फॅक्टर मध्ये काहीतरी गडबड केलीस तू.
नाही सर, ते चुकलं सर.
You can see the solution now. If you have any query, let me know. Okay, next example. Write down the statement. In an internal combustion engine, during compression stroke, internal combustion engine during the compression stroke, the heat rejected to cooling water is 50 kilojoules per kg. Heat rejected to cooling water is 50 kilojoules per kg, and work input is 100 kilojoules per kg, and work input is 100 kilojoules per kg, full stop. Calculate the change in internal energy of working fluid. Calculate the change in internal energy of a working fluid, stating that whether it is gain or loss. Stating that whether it is a gain or loss. So this one is quite simple one. You will get answer in hardly 1 or 2 steps. So solve this one, tell me the answer, and also you are supposed to mention whether that is going to be gain in energy or loss of energy. So whether energy is positive or negative. If it is positive, that is going to be gain, and if it is negative, that is going to be loss. By solving, put answer in a chat window. Pratik, that would be gain or loss?
So loss one.
So that will be loss. Okay.
नहीं यार.
You want to change your answer?
Loss.
So that is loss, right? Okay. Next,
Yes, sir.
anybody else? बाकीचे खरंच कॅल्क्युलेटर नोटबुक घेऊन बसलेत का रे? एक काम करायचं आपण सर्वांनी आता काही काळासाठी सर्वांनी आपला व्हिडिओ चालू करायचा आहे. पाहू दे मला काय करताय सगळेजण. Each one of you is supposed to switch on your videos. महेश दुकानात बसलायस की काय? दाखव
हो
नोटबुक.
सर.
नोटबुक दाखव, नोटबुक. कॅमेरामध्ये नोटबुक दाखव.
2 मिनिटं. सर छोटी आहे, मोठी नाही.
असू दे चालेल. अनिकेत, शो मी युअर नोटबुक. ओके. महेश, प्रतीक जगदाळे. ओके. अभय, उमेश. ओके. अभय, अभय मराठे. अभय मराठे, show me your notebook. Or else you will be treated as absent for today's session. Should I consider you absent for today's session? Okay. Next, Umesh Tompe. Shubham. Samadhan and Shrikar. Show me your notebooks. Samadhan and Shrikar, show me your notebooks.
सर श्रीकर थोडा बाहेर गेलेला आहे, मी शेतात आलतो.
नोटबुक दाखव तुझी. Okay. Now you can turn off your videos. Okay. So hope all of you have got the answer for this one. What we have given, internal combustion engine is there and a compression stroke. Ideally, we can get that. Compression means we need to provide some work input to have that compression. So this 100 is going to be negative because work is consumed by the system. And also, usually whenever you compress the fluid, its temperature increases. and when its temperature increases, the heat is going to be lost by the system. So here, during compression, heat is rejected to cooling water, and that is 50 kilojoules per kg. So that is also negative. So Q is minus 50, W is minus 100. And if we put these values in the first law of thermodynamics, that is Q is equal to U2 minus U1 plus W, or this delta U that we need to calculate. So by putting all the values, we'll get Q2 minus U1 is equal to 50 kilojoules per kg. And as it is positive, we can say that this one is gain in the energy. Okay. Next example. In an air motor cylinder, the compressed air has internal energy of 450 kilojoules per kg at the beginning. In an air motor cylinder, the compressed air has internal energy of 450 kilojoules per kg at the beginning, and for expansion, internal energy of 220 kilojoules per kg, and for expansion or after expansion 220 kilojoules per kg if the work done by air during expansion is 120 kilojoules per kg, calculate the heat flow to and from the cylinder. Calculate the heat flow to and from the cylinder. So here we have been given, there is air motor cylinder. The compressed air has initial energy of 450 kilojoules per kg. So this is U1 at the beginning, and internal energy 220 kilojoules per kg after expansion. So this is U2, and during this expansion it produces the work output of 120 kilojoules. So that is W, and as it is work produced by the system, so this is positive. And what we need to find? Q. So Q is equal to delta U plus W. This is general equation. We can write this one as U2 minus U1 into W, plus W, and this is Q. Now put all the values. We need to find Q, so it will remain as it is, U2 minus U1. So U2 is 220 minus 450 and plus W is 120. So Q is equal to kilojoules per kg. Tell me the answer. Okay. So that is going to be minus 110. Hope all of you have got the answer. So answer will be minus 110 kilojoules per kg, and that is nothing but the heat rejected by the air is 110 kilojoules per kg. As it is negative, that is heat rejected by the system. Okay, last numerical for today's session. Read the statement. You don't need to solve anything. You just need to tell me the direction of heat flow and a reason for your answer. Read the statement carefully and tell me the answer. You don't need to solve anything. You just need to tell me direction of heat flow. And reason for that answer. This question was asked in university examination. You can see that this is a picture captured from question paper itself. Tell me the direction of heat flow and why.
A to B.
A to B. Okay, hold
Yes,
on.
sir.
I'll not ask the reason right now. Let me see if anybody has got any other opinion. I will come back to you. Anybody has got any other opinion? Or heat is going to transfer from A to B only? Okay, who told me the answer? A to B?
Sir,
Srikar?
Aniket, sir.
Acha, Aniket. Okay. Can you tell me the reason?
Sir, because the internal energy, sir, thermal energy.
So, why A to B?
Because the system which have the A system have 3000 kilojoule thermal energy and B have 200 kilojoule. That's why.
Energy has to be transferred from A to B, right? But look at the answer. Answer is B to A. Do you still find whatever you are thinking is right? Okay, let me give you the explanation. For system A, the energy content is 3000 kilojoules, right? And B contains 200 kilojoules. So if you look at the energy content by those two systems, it is obviously appears that it is going to transfer from 3000 to 200, right? But that is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because
Sir,
this 3000 is at 20 degrees Celsius, whereas this 200 is at 50 degrees Celsius. And we know that energy always transfers from high temperature to low temperature, right? So whatever amount is there, it is going to transfer from 50 degree Celsius to 20 degree Celsius. So energy transfer is going to from 200 kilojoule to 300 kilojoule. So energy transfer or heat transfer is going to from B to A. अनिकेत, क्लियर झाला डाऊट की आहे काही अजून?
No, sir.
ओके, सो विल स्टॉप ओव्हर हिअर. युनिट नंबर 2 च्या नोट्स मी सकाळी अपलोड केलेले आहेत गुगल क्लासरूमला. यू कॅन डाउनलोड दॅट वन अँड विल पोस्ट क्विज फॉर दी लास्ट सेशन as well as today's session. Last week I was busy with some things. Because of that one I couldn't upload notes, quiz and anything. So I'll do that one today or tomorrow. Notes already I have uploaded. Okay, so I'll stop over here and